Hello world! Happy Thanksgiving! My name is Luann Pikett, and I am doing some of my recipes on live today. And you know why? Because I have nobody to talk to but you. Nobody here but me. And until I get together with my siblings and their families and my parents, I'm here alone. So, I thought I would have some company, and I'm so glad you are keeping me company, even if you're watching later, because it still gives me somebody to talk to. So, I am making... last night, and if you didn't see it, you can go to my video and watch me make sour cream pound cake. And even I have a second video where it comes out of the oven. I show how easy it is to take out of the pan. And, you know, I have pictures, and the recipe is posted in those videos, and the picture. So you can see all of that. I also made chocolate pie. I didn't do that on live because it's really just a baked pie crust that I pour in Jell-O cook and serve pudding. It's not anything fancy. You don't need to watch anybody make that. Someday I'm going to make that from scratch. I just never have. It's so much easier to just do it with the pudding. But I am going to make cream carrots and, oh, my carrots are boiling. Let me get that here. Let me show you. This is 4 pounds of carrots. You can make any amount. Sometimes I make 2, sometimes I make 3, 4, 5 pounds. This is 4 pounds of carrots. It is boiling. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes just because I want them to be done. It's usually how long it takes. There's a teaspoon of salt in here. They're covered with water. I'm going to turn that down a little. And that's the carrots. Then, oh, yep, and here we go. Stop boiling over. Let's turn it way down. It has a little escape hatch over here, but, you know, so it just wasn't enough. And then, just a second, my wires are tangled over here. This is my other pan. I'm going to do the cauliflower casserole. Okay, and what this has in here is one of those. And I'm fogging up my camera. It is a little steamer basket. If you have a special pan that does this, you don't need that. There's just enough water in the bottom. And I'm going to turn it back on high for a minute. Just enough water in the bottom to steam. And... actually, I'm not going to turn it up yet, because I'm going to put this in the holder. Let's see if I can get this camera in the holder here, so I don't have to hold it. Ta-da. Okay, so then, let me try to fix it here where you can see what I'm doing now, without knocking everything down. Okay, there's the carrots, and there's the other pan that will have my cauliflower in it. We're still a little off. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Now, here's my cauliflower. Now, this is an entire head of cauliflower. I already last night washed it and cut it in little flowerets. So it's, you know, I've already got the work done. Basically what you want here is bite size. Whatever you like, bite size. Otherwise, you're going to have to cut it when you eat it. So, you know, flowerets. Then I have a 1/4 cup each of little green bell pepper and red bell pepper. Now that goes in the casserole, and I steam all of these things. So I'm going to put the cauliflower and these peppers in this steamer. I'm going to turn it back on high for a minute just to make sure me lifting the lid doesn't make it stop boiling. And I'm going to dump those in. And then all of this cauliflower. So I'm going to steam this until it is what they call crisp tender. So you do not want this mushy. And you don't want it too crispy because you want it to kind of be done. So you want it, so I'm going to start with about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to check that. And I'm going to set the timer on my microwave because I've got the other timer for this. So there's both of those things. Now, the cauliflower casserole, let's see, I got this from a Taste of Home catalog years ago. And it's my mother's favorite dish now. So this, after you mix everything, it gets put in the oven at 325. So let's set my oven to 325. This is probably something I would imagine most people have not tried, because I mean, you don't hear of a lot of people having cauliflower casserole. And I am not usually that crazy about cauliflower by itself, but this is good. Now I did try it with broccoli one time because I actually really like broccoli, and I thought, well, maybe I'll like it. It loses something with the broccoli because the broccoli is so strong. I'm turning that back down. The broccoli is so strong it overpowers the cheese and everything else in it. So it's, to me, actually better with cauliflower. So you can try it with the broccoli, but then it just tastes like nothing but broccoli. So trust me, use the cauliflower. Okay, so it's going to have, while it's cooking there, I'm going to mix up, let's see if I can do this. Without this falling. You know, I didn't turn on my light either. I don't think that's going to make a difference for the video. Okay, so let's see. Maybe it will if I aim the light down here. so we can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to get this not to fall. And, ooh, is it want to fall? Okay, let's don't do that. Alright, we won't angle you then. I want to. It's sliding on me here. Really? We were fine a minute ago. Now it's just sliding. I know about my little holder here. Okay, let's move the light back over. It was balancing it. It's too slippery. Okay, so let's see then if I can just do that. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go to the oven here where you can see. That's a little warm. I use this gigantic bowl. And the reason I use the gigantic bowl is can be a little hard to stir this into the cauliflower because some of this stuff is a little cold, even though I have had this setting out for about an hour, so maybe it's not quite as cold. But this is a cup of sour cream. If your sour cream separates, you just want to stir it. Don't pour off the water, or then your sour cream is going to be real thick. So you want just stir. I used a cup of this yesterday in the sour cream pound cake. Now I have another cup left. And that's what goes into this is a cup of sour cream. So I'm going to put this in the bowl. And I just sort of have a way that I do this that I find it easier to stir. So I'm putting this in the bowl. Because it's hard to stir cauliflower. It's not real easy to stir. So all of this is going to go in here. I don't want to leave any behind. Scrape it good. This is tasty. Normally I don't like sour cream. I don't like sour cream, but I like it in cooked casseroles and stuff. Okay, so there's that. Then it requires a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, or not a half a cup, a whole cup. A cup. It's half the bag, is what I was wanting to say. 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. So here is, you can shred your own if you like to do that. I buy it shredded because it's just easier. So I'm going to, this is the fine shredded. You don't have to use the fine. You can use any. Doesn't matter at all. It's going to melt. So there we have our cup of shredded cheddar cheese. Going to go in there too. Let me put this back in the refrigerator because I've had that out so it won't be quite as cold. It'll just melt easier. And then I got to get one more ingredient out of the pantry here because I forgot to get this out. Let's see how much time we have here. Let me check. I'm going to get a fork. I just want to kind of check how we're doing here. Okay, we're nowhere near done. Let's turn that back up a little bit. We are still raw. What does that say? It says we have 30 seconds. It's going to take longer than that. So I go ahead and stir. You can see in there, right? I go ahead and stir the cheese and the sour cream together. Then this says to put a teaspoon of salt. So you can put pepper in this too. It doesn't call for pepper for some reason, but you can put it in there if you want. So I'm going to put the teaspoon of salt also in here. I strain it because I have rice in my salt because I live in Florida and the salt just gets lumpy if you don't have rice, but I don't want to eat the rice in there. So I always strain my salt. Then I'm going to stir this. Okay, that was my check the broccoli alarm. We only have 3 minutes left for these carrots. Alright, let me check this. Let me get like a spoon. Okay, yeah, we are nowhere near done at all. So we're going to go at least another 5 minutes with that. Let's turn it back up some more. Make sure we're going good. Let's set another 5 minutes. It usually takes me 5, 8, 10 minutes or something for that to get softened enough. But you want there to be some firmness to it, but where it's not raw and crunchy. We got 2 more minutes left on the carrots. Okay, so then after you do the cheddar cheese, this asks for a half a cup of a really strange ingredient. Oh, it is so good. Cornflakes. Cornflake cereal. This is the cheapo brand. Yes, indeed it is. You can actually buy, sometimes, you can find a box, it's a smaller box, about half this size, of pre-crushed cornflakes. And that's what I like to get. But they did not have it. Sometimes I think it's more expensive than buying this off-brand cereal. So I'm going to measure half a cup of this into a Ziploc bag, a small Ziploc bag, because we only need half a cup, so it's not, you know, we don't need that much. And I'm going to probably have to put more in here because once you crush it, it's probably going to be less. We got 1 more minute left on the carrots. So I'm measuring this into the cup. I don't know that you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying not to make a mess is what I'm doing. I hope you are all having a happy Thanksgiving today. I still made a mess anyway. So here I'm going to put this in the Ziploc bag. This is just a small Ziploc bag. Oh, that's a cup. I didn't even what I wanted to do. Well, let's put half of it in. Alright, so there we go. There it is in the bag. So then I'm going to squish out the air and I'm going to kind of zip the bag and then I'm going to smash it. So if you have some aggression you would like to release, this is an excellent activity. You could let your kids do this, but I would be a little cautious that you don't let them get a little too wild with it or they'll bust the bag, it'll be everywhere. So I'm going to, oh, you can kind of see here, I have a meat mallet. And I'm just going to smash it. They're not hard to smash these. Okay, so we got to stop for a minute and do our carrots. Okay, so let's take off the lid. Let's test them. Look how good they're boiling. See if they're kind of soft. Yep. You don't need these to mush either because we're going to simmer them some more. So then I'm going to take, and I have a strainer, and I'm going to put this in the sink, and I'm going to pour out all the water and just have the carrots. This is so simple to make. The hardest part about this is peeling the carrots. Now, can you use the ones that are like in the package and already peeled? You can, but it won't turn out quite as well. It's okay, but those have something coating them or something, and they don't absorb the cream quite as well. And to me, those carrots have sort of an old taste to them. It's better, it will be better if you buy carrots and peel them. And yeah, it's a lot of work. But I sit on the couch with a big bowl and do it so I don't have to break my back standing up. I go sit on the couch and watch TV and do it. So it's not that hard. Okay, so then, see, I put it in there. The pan is still hot. The burner's still on medium. And you see how all that steam is escaping. Because, see, I don't really want water in it. You don't want to water this down. So I am going to, now this is something my mother never did, but it's so much better if you do this. Add a teaspoon of salt. Or it depends on how many carrots you have. That's probably could take a teaspoon and a half. Again, I don't want my chunks of rice that I have in here. I don't want it in there. So there's my salt. Then you're going to take half and half. With this many carrots, you probably need the quart. If you do a couple pounds of carrots, you can get the pint size. But this will take almost the quart. I usually use this for, I can do 5 pounds of carrots usually with a quart. This is 4 pounds. So you're just going to pour this over. And then I turn it up a little bit to start with because this is cold. And once it starts to simmer, don't turn it up high. That's like medium high. Once it starts to simmer, you're going to, and the important part of this is leave it uncovered or it will never thicken. Leave it uncovered, but turn it down to medium-low so it simmers. So, and it doesn't have to be, see, it can be just like that. It does not have to be covered where you can't see the carrots. That's probably about 3.5 cups of half and half. And then you can save the rest for coffee if you drink coffee, which I don't. But if you do, you can save it. Or use it for something else. But see, you don't have to cover them where they're buried, but you want the cream kind of touching all of it. And then I have a spoon here, and I'm going to kind of try to stir it a little bit because, you know, I had salt in there. And you can kind of push it down a little bit. Okay, there's my test. The cauliflower again. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, we're doing really well here. See how it's turned a little lighter, you know, cooked looking? But you don't want it too crispy, and it's still a little too crispy. Let's try like 2 more minutes. Still a little hard. I turned it back down a little bit. I don't want to turn it down too far. Okay, so here we still have this over here. I don't want that to get too hot. It's too close to the burner. Alright, so let's go back to smashing. Smashing our cornflakes. You know what? I'll bet my cats are in there thinking somebody's knocking at the door. You can do it on the side too. It's actually faster. And it doesn't really matter what size they are. You just don't want them full size. You want them crushed. Yes, this is going in that casserole. Now let's see how much that actually is when it's crushed. Here's my half cup measuring thing here. So you want to keep your eye on these carrots. Or you want to keep your eye on that cream. Now you really want to try to let it not boil. If it does boil though, the cream will look a little more separated, but it actually won't taste any different. So it'll be fine even if it boils. It just looks a little lumpier. Will not taste any different. So don't freak out. If it does come to a boil, it's okay. It's okay. Alright, so I'm going to put some more cornflakes in here. Now, does anybody want some cornflake cereal? I have a gigantic box now. Gigantic box. I only needed half a cup. That is not going to last till next year when I make this again. It is not. Okay, here we go. I guess I could make it again at Christmas. Okay, smash them up again, the rest of them. So I guess if you measure like a cup of dry, it's going to end up being probably half a cup of crumbs. Let's see how we do. Because you know there's a lot of space and a lot of air in there when they're not smashed. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Full cup of the flakes from the cereal box will be half a cup of crushed. So there you go, so half a cup. So there was my check the cauliflower again. You can see my carrots though, they have little bubbles. I don't know if you can see the little bubbles. Trust me, there are little bubbles. Now let's do that a little bit. There you go. All right, let's check this again. Oh, we're getting better. You want to be able to get your fork in it. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Because it's going to bake again in the oven. I think we're good. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to take my strainer again that I have in the sink still, and I'm going to strain this off. It doesn't have much water, just that little bit in the bottom from steaming, but I still have to get it out of there. And I got to get that basket out of there. It's hot. Okay, so here's my pan, empty. Then let's take a hot pad, because that's really hot. You could do a hot pad or some tongs or something. I've lost my hot pads. We'll use this one. And I'm going to pull out this basket thing. That's this right here. I am going to take all those little bits off of peppers, because I want all that. It all goes in there. It's just sticking. The recipe doesn't tell you to steam the peppers, but I like them cooked. I like them a little softer too. If you don't want them softer, I guess you don't have to do them at all. But I always put them in there all together with the cauliflower. Okay, so here we have my strainer with the cauliflower and the peppers in there. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit in the sink for a minute. I'm almost ready to put it in here. So let's take, remember I don't want the lid. Do not put the lid on the carrots while it's cooking here. Or, just stir it a little bit. Yeah, it's getting hot. You see steam. It will never thicken. It will stay runny like this. And what you want it to do is thicken, and then it will, I can't pick that one up. It will cling to the carrots really well. Oh, this is so good. And it's so simple. Even if you don't like carrots, there's a lot of people who don't like carrots, but they love this. Okay, so look at how it's steaming. It's about ready to start simmering. I love seeing stuff steam on the oven, on the stove. Okay, so let's put this here. Here's our bowl that has our salt and our sour cream and our cheese that I'm going to put in. You want to mix all this stuff that's easy to mix first. I mix in the cereal. This is similar to putting crackers or potato chips in a casserole. If you've ever had recipes like that, it's just cornflakes. It tastes pretty good in here too. Okay, now here's the trick I do, because it is hard to stir big old hunks of cauliflower. So here's what I do with this bowl. I take the stuff I have on here and I kind of spread it out up the bowl and around the bowl. Otherwise you have a big old lump of it and it's just hard to mix it. You'll have it all in one spot. So here I've sort of like coated the bowl. Just over the years of making this, I've had this recipe for years. This is the little trick I've figured out how that's just easier. Okay, so there I've coated my bowl. Then I'm going to dump in this hot cauliflower and peppers. You want to make sure it's well drained. You do not want any water in this, because if you get water in this, it gets runny, and then it's good when it's not runny. So no water. Make sure it's drained well. And the other trick to this is when it comes out of the oven and it's hot, do not put a lid on the cauliflower casserole, because it will make all kinds of condensation, and then it's runny and it ruins it. It's like soupy. And it's, oh, I mean, it's still okay, but it's soupy. You don't want it soupy. So that's the other key to this that I have figured over the years. Do not, I'm going to move this one actually now to the bigger burner because it's on a little burner. You do not, turn that off, put a lid on it. Now, once everybody has eaten it and it's no longer really hot, you can put a lid on it then. You can put a lid on it to store it. But when you're done cooking before it's been served, do not put a lid on the cauliflower casserole. It will make it soupy. You just have to leave the lid off. Even if you're going to grandma's house or wherever you're going, leave the lid off. Okay, now I'm going to go under and scrape all of this stuff up off the bowl. See how it does? This is what it does, okay? So it's you kind of want to spread it. You kind of want to get it to pick it up. You want all the cauliflower to be coated with this cheese, and it lumps. That's just what it does. So if you can start off with it spread out a little, and then you just kind of keep stirring, and the heat from the cauliflower and the peppers will melt it and soften it a little bit, but you really want it to spread this cheese evenly, and it's kind of a little challenge. So I just think that's a little easier to just keep stirring, and it's okay if it has a little bit of a lump here or there, because you just have a nice bite of cheese then. But you want to try to get it. Is that still hot? It's a little warm. I don't want to melt this. I know it's a little warm here on the oven. Try not to melt it too much. Okay, that's pretty good right there. And then we're going to put this in a casserole dish. My oven's heated, ready to go. Oh, that's good. Okay. Now this is the casserole dish I'm using. You can use anything. You can use a square one. You can use, but this is the one I'm using. It's just some that I have. It's a round one. It's a deep one though. But whatever you have, it'll fit in. I'd say at least like a 2.5 quart you're going to need for this. So then you're just going to, it does tell you to spray. It really doesn't stick too bad. But if you want to spray your pan, you can grease it however you want to. It doesn't need a lot. And then we're going to put it in. And you just dump it in there. With all this cheese and these peppers and this sour cream, this is so good. Trying to get it off the spoon. Now I'm going to take, I don't like to waste anything. I mean, why let the bowl have it when I can eat it? Alright, let's get my spatula and we're going to scrape this down. See, look, that's a lot of stuff I would have left in there. We're not doing that. Okay, so let's get it all out. It drives me crazy on cooking shows. I know they do it probably for time, that they don't scrape the bowls very well. And they put it in the sink and I'm like, there's stuff in there. Get that out of there. But like I said, I know they're doing it because they don't want people to just have to watch them scrape the bowl. They probably really do scrape the bowl in real life, but they don't do it on the TV show. It drives me crazy. Okay, so I kind of spread it and, kind of flatten it a little. You don't have to, but it keeps any piece of cauliflower from sticking up and getting like burnt or too brown or too dry. If you make sure it's kind of pressed down even, you won't have like a dry piece. Okay, so then once you have done that, we have one more ingredient. Oh, actually we have two. We have 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I buy the one that they already grate in Publix. If you want to grate your own, you certainly can. And this, what I do with this, because this goes bad pretty quick, is keep it in the freezer. You can use it straight out of the freezer too. You don't even have to thaw it because it's all shredded. It thaws like instantly. So 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. Oh, look at this going crazy. Are y'all watching this boil? So we boiled it. Alright, what did I do with my spoon? I've lost my spoon. Here's one. So, stir it up. I just took it off the burner for a minute because I don't want it to go crazy here. It will be fine. Just stir it in. Then, you want this to boil at least not boil, but simmer at least half an hour. Maybe even an hour. So I'm going to do 30 minutes. It will definitely be time for me to go by then. Alright, so there we go. You see how it's just slightly simmering, slightly bubbling? That's what you want. I'm paying so much attention to what I'm doing here. I missed that, but that's okay. It didn't hurt it. So let's sprinkle that around. Then, the last thing, now this is optional. You don't have to do this at all. But it says to sprinkle it with paprika. Paprika is just it's a shredded pepper is really what it is. It's grated pepper. And it just adds color. So it just makes it golden, you know. So just sprinkle a little on top. This has really always been just a garnish for dishes. Just so it doesn't look white when it bakes. Because it says everything in here is white. Just about. So you just sprinkle that on. It gives it a little color. Paprika. Then I'm going to put this in. Now it says it will take 30 to 35 minutes, which is going to be the exact same amount of time as that. How great is that? And remember, uncovered. Uncovered in the oven. When you take it out of the oven, leave it uncovered till you're done with it and ready to put it away. By then it won't be steaming hot and it won't be making steam and condensation. It won't water it down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go. I'll take pictures of these and put them in at the end. I can put also the recipe. The carrots don't really have a recipe. They're boiled carrots and put half and half on top. And simmer. That's it. I don't even have that written down. But the cauliflower casserole, I have a written recipe for that. But I'll put that in the comments later. But I am going to go ahead and go. Let me go and take this off of here. Oh, hello, Jody. You were there, I see. I didn't see it before. Okay, so then let's flip this around. Oh, it didn't do it. It's ignoring me. There we go. Okay, my Thanksgiving dinner is almost all complete. I'm ready to go. Gotta go get my shoes, which probably won't leave on, but I'll wear over there. And get all my stuff ready to go. And I am going to gather up my things and go when everything is done cooking. And I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. And until tomorrow, good night.